There's really only one reason why homes don't rent. I've spent over 20 years trying out different promotions and collaborating with colleagues on best practices for getting listings moving that just aren't getting any traction. And it always boils down to the same thing. The problem is the price. Today, I'm going to share with you how we determine if a listing is overpriced. I'm going to share why rental promotions don't work and how to use them effectively. And you're going to want to stick around to the end where I'll share how you can get access to free templates and other resources to help you get your rental running smoothly without any headaches. Let's get into the video. First, let's look at the two different categories of conditions that affect your rental. There are things that are under your control and things that you can't control. So the first thing we'll look at is the overall market. You don't really have any control over how much demand there is, how many people are looking, or what the competition looks like when you have your home on the market. So another thing that you don't have control over is the economy. So things like the job market, unemployment, those things are just out of your control. And lastly is time of year. Ideally, we'd love to have listings available during the spring and summer months only when it's most active, but having a listing in the fall and winter is really something that you've got no control over if you happen to have a vacancy that time of year. Now let's talk about things that you do have control over. And the first thing is the condition of the home. You want to make sure that the home is clean, that all the paint is in good condition, and that overall the property looks good for showings and photos. So next is the marketing of the home, and it really boils down to having good photography. A lot of times we'll see photos that are taken at night. You can see tools and supplies in the backgrounds, and you're going to have a hard time attracting people to come in and take a look at your property. An additional point to marketing is making sure that the availability of the property is sufficient. If people are having a hard time getting in touch with you or making an appointment to see the rental, they're going to move on to the next listing. So now that we've covered the things that are under your control and those that are not under your control, why is it that we say that pricing is the most important thing? The reason why pricing is so important is because regardless of how the market is doing, how much competition there is, or how well your property shows, you have to price it in line with those conditions. So let's say, for example, you have a home that you feel pretty confident that the fair market rent is in the $2,500 range. Maybe you've rented it for $2,500 in the past. You've done some research, you've looked at some comps, and you're fairly confident that that's a price range that it should be in. If some of these external factors are working against you, so maybe the economy is in a bad place, there's lots of competing listings, and the job market is down in your area. Even if the home has rented for $2,500 in the past, it doesn't mean that that's what it will rent for today, given the conditions surrounding the property. So you can do things like improve your marketing, take better photos, make sure that the property is in good condition. But regardless of those factors that are under control, you have to look at the whole picture, and the home probably isn't going to rent for $2,500 if the conditions around it have changed since the last time you rented it. Here's our 3-point strategy for pricing rental homes. Number one, we're going to do a competitive market analysis and pull comparable properties that are currently renting to determine what the fair market rent should be for the property. Number two, we're going to price it exactly at that fair market rent number that was determined by the comparables. And number three, we're going to adjust the price every 10 to 14 days if we're not seeing sufficient activity. Now, when it comes to things like promotions, we've seen all kinds of different offers, things like a half a month of rent for free, free application fees, including utilities. There's all kinds of creative incentives that you can offer, but it's not going to make up for having a home that's improperly priced. Rental promotions are great for supplementing a price reduction, but on their own, we just don't see them as effective for getting properties rented. So I want to share a few resources that are available to you right now if you've got a home on the market. The first is our free guide to renting your home, which is a PDF download available right now that can help you get your home rented quickly. And we've also got a custom curated playlist of videos to help out homeowners like you. You can click the link here, and we'll see you in the next video.